All right. Now it's 11:02. Let's start today's meeting. Today is May 2nd. It's SAD community meeting. So we have agenda shown on the share screen. So the first thing today, someone want to talk about the meeting location. May I ask who put this in the agenda? I guess it's fine, but it's a suggestion about moving to Hangout or meetjet.si. How about this? I'm gonna post some kind of vote in SAD Dev, then we can see how many people wants what. I think Gilho had that vote before. But we can do one more time. And
you mean the YouTube channel?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You mean the YouTube channel for SAD?
Yeah, I can or I can post the issue. Post the yeah issue for voting. All right. Next question: is 3.4 branched off of Git master or off 3? It's branched off 3.4, right?
No.
Yeah, 3.4 would be just branched off from the current master branch, and then yeah, nothing to do with the 3.3 release.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next, when will 3.3.13 be released? Gilho, do you have any?
Yeah, so yeah, I just emailed the SAD maintainer mailing list. I was just building the 3.3 patch release just now.
Okay.
And was about to push the container image, and then I need to coordinate with the SAM about the signing process. But like regardless, I'm gonna cut the release today, and then like work with the SAM for signing process.
Yeah.
I'll get on that right after the meeting.
Okay.
And follow up with you.
All right. So it's gonna be.
Yeah. So I also update the change log. So please take a look, and then once ready, just email the SAD community.
Yeah. Just ping whoever you need. So if anyone do not know, yearly we have announcement on the SAD Dev channel, a Google group that you can check when is each release go out. Then next, create issue, triage, and PR management guideline.
Yep. Hey, Wenju, everyone. Yeah, that was me. And would you like to open that PR, Wenju, or I can share my screen?
Yeah, here. I open it.
Yep. Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Oops, I haven't signed.
And I'm going to ask you to operate it. Yeah, scroll down a little bit and all those things. So just on the top, that's fine.
Okay, here. Let me make it.
And we're actually going to move to the file, the changes, I think. Just if you can move that, that'll be quick because I know there are
changed.
Many agenda items following this one. So if you can open this in a view file section, Wenju, that'll be good. There are 2 files. And the other one too. I guess both we can. Well, we can go through this first one and then open another one. That's fine. And meanwhile, you're doing that. It's I think there are headset twins here. Toby's. I think we are sharing the same headset.
It's a good headset.
Yeah.
Everyone in my company has that same headset in the same color, so I'm used to it.
Oh, wow. Just me here alone, I guess. No one in my team has it. Well, good to have a company here. All right, everyone. So yeah, I'll be quick, as I mentioned. So the purpose of this PR, I wanted to propose is to speed up the issues and PR management. So I created 2 different files, one for the PR, one for the issues. The first one, I'm just going to walk through the things. The first one, the purpose is just a couple of examples there. For searches and whatnot on PRs, mainly for new contributors to take a look, right? Um, uh, the scope wise, this my hope is this guidelines will evolve over the time. This is again, I created something to start the discussion with. So under the scope, I just mentioned right now that it is for people like maintainers or the active contributors who know the project. But the reason behind this PR is a few things for the PR side, right? Like handle inactive PR. So we currently have many PRs, and some of them are really old PRs, right? Many of them, especially from the first-time contributors, you can search it. I actually have a few examples in my on my browser. If needed, I can share that. But there are first-time contributors. They create a PR, and many of them are good PRs, like trivial changes, but the good changes. Some has even better changes. But we notice that they disappear after creating the PR. There are comments from one of us that, hey, some review comments, but then we have seen there are PRs with 6 month plus or 8 month plus time duration sitting there, we waiting on their we're hearing back from them. But like I said, those PRs are good PRs. If one of us can create a new commit, just addressing the comment, and that can be merged, that's good for the project, right? Or we can close it. But right now we don't know how long we should wait without offending the PR creator. So I put few days here. I actually created like a year back. I proposed guidelines in Kubernetes community because we had like 5,000 plus issues that over there that time. And I was asked to help with the triage, and eventually I thought we need some processes to reduce it. So along with some automation and the triage guidelines, I think we are now under 2,500, around 2,000. So, I mean, I put some days here that we can, use as an sort of, part of this guideline that, hey, we feel free to close it, right? Or we will feel free to create a new commit because these are something guidelines based on everybody's sort of consistent, right? The second one is reviewer, right? So I noticed that we are all, all the maintainers, all the active reviewers, whoever is asked to review from the PR owner, they are typically very responsive, responding back in a day, couple of days, few days. But there are PRs which we know takes longer to review, and everyone is busy. But then as a PR owner, especially again for the new contributors, they don't feel comfortable. Like, should they poke the reviewer, right? What's the right way to get in touch with the reviewer without annoying the reviewer? So whether they should, just Slack them directly, email them, or just mention them in the PR itself after certain number of days, many times the GitHub notifications goes, without getting noticed, right? So like, slacking them. And the third one is, some of the labels are in place that are for the, folks who are actually doing the, reviews of the PRs and stuff. So having those labels in place, I think good for others to follow the PR, right, with the milestone and other things. So that's quick or PR. Let me do the same thing with the issue real quick. I have a little bit more in the issues. Wenjia, if you can please move to the issues. Here, same thing. The purpose is to speed up the issue management, and I provided some, predetermined searches here for the folks to take a look. But same with the scope. But as you go scroll down, Wenjia, please. So yeah, few more things like what we should do when a new issue. If you scroll little up, just little up. There you go. That's it. Thanks. So I mean, the workflow, right? What will be the workflow when a new issue comes in? So I guess we probably can start validating whether it's an issue or not, right? And if it's not an issue, then we many times for the trivial issues we can close it right away. But if it's something we need to make sure that issue reporter is happy with the triage, that this is not real an issue that belongs to SCD or nowhere, so should we close it right away without offending the reporter, or we should wait for a certain number of days, right, to hear back from the reporter? If never hear back, I think it's good to get it closed and get rid of it. In PR and issue both, they can be always reopened if they think so, right? If somebody are away for long period of time, they can get back and open it. Same thing with inactive issues. Like I said, in the PR, there are issues where we ask them for some information and they never get back. It's a real issue, but if you don't get to hear back from them, what we should do, right? Similar things are duplicate issues. And then, for all these things, I actually proposed and created some labels in Kubernetes. I think we can do down the line here as well. Need more information, right? Or it's like unresolved, or it's a duplicate issue, something like that. I know we don't want to create too many labels because it's a headache, but just a couple, 3 more relevant. Then issues that don't belong to etcd, right? I mean, we run into those issues as well, that hey, this is not a real etcd issue, but it's from one of the dependencies. How should we handle them and get rid of it, right, from our open issues and the backlogs. And then same thing with the labels. We want to make sure that the right labels are in place, and if you want to add more there. And then poke issue, right? So many time issue is owned by somebody, one of the developers, assigned. Typically we assign by ourselves. But then if no PR is created to resolve the issues, how long we should wait before we poke the issue owner, right? So I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, I just want to create the PR as part of the proposal so that we have this some of this documentation out there, right? And get everyone's opinion on it, any review feedbacks, and so it's open for discussion. We can discuss it as part of the PR as well, but that's pretty much it. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for putting this together. So I will review it today, maybe tomorrow. I think this is great. We should have something like this.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ian. Thank you.
I just had a quick question. On the Kubernetes side, there seems to be a bit of automation around some of these tasks. Is anyone familiar with, is it like an extension of Prow? Or,
so once we have the Prow set up for our CI testing, we will have that automatic.
Yeah. Okay.
So no, absolutely, that'll be good. That actually, I was actually one of the guy who suggested that we should auto close the issues in the beginning, because initially there was some folks were like, no, we shouldn't do that. But I think down the road, Eric Feta created the bot, and that is actually helping a big way. But again, it's the number of days that we're supposed to wait before auto closing. In Kubernetes, the number of issues are so many. Auto closing definitely makes sense. We don't have that many. I mean, manually we can keep it under check as well. But having pros for many different things, definitely that would be really good. And you already have something in place, right? You are already, I think there was a PR you already created on the different line with some of the pros, right? So we can extend that for this purpose as well.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. All right.
Sure.
Next item, Jingyi.
Yeah, update on the learner non-voting member implementation. I just do a quick update since the last meeting. So people have been contributing to the learner feature branch for some time now, and I think maybe 2 weeks ago, we opened a work in progress PR from the feature branch against the master branch. So that's the PR. Just for reference, we definitely need reviews. All right, that was a quick update.
But the feature branch was reviewed, has been constantly reviewed, right?
we got incremental reviews on most of the PRs in the feature branch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if people want to see the details, you can go to feature branch. This is like the everything all together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thank you, Jingyi. That's a lot of work.
Do you have any more pending changes?
So I think most of the functionalities are done. There are still maybe 1 or 2 that are pending.
Okay.
The next step would be to update the documents, and I think we're still missing maybe a couple integration tests.
So this is still marked as a work in progress. So do you want to review now, or do you want me to
I guess you can do either ways. Let's see. So I opened it because I think most of the functionality is done. I don't want the PR to grow very big.
Okay.
Uh,
I can give it a look over the weekend.
sure, thanks.
Yuho, if you have time, maybe you can also.
Yeah, I'll take a look. And then, so feature-wise, like that PR include pretty much everything, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And next, discuss the proposal for implementing joint consensus in SAD Raft.
Yep, that's me. Yeah, so Jingyi suggested that I bring this to this meeting. This is about enabling the full kinds of membership changes in Raft. Right now, you can only do changes one at a time, and I don't think this is the right place for a technical discussion. I hope that Zhang and I can kind of dig into that on the thread. I saw that you posted there, and I agree with you to some parts, but I'll get back to you on there and we'll split it out. And what I wanted to ask in this meeting is like, so that there are going to be some changes to the Raft package in one form or another. And so what are the guarantees that we have to provide while making these changes? For example, like Etsy server will automatically pick up that, right? Because it's on the same branch. Does Etsy server have to be running in mixed versions with packages, like with packages of Raft that don't actually have this new functionality? Does there need to be a migration story around this? Or is it kind of an anything goes type of thing? And like, what are the guidelines here that we have to take care of?
So the fundamental question I have is, can we make the two mechanism for reconfiguration coexist so that we don't have to change it immediately in SAD?
Yeah, that depends. So I know, so now everyone else is not into this, is probably gonna not know what's going on. But there are two ways of implementing this. And one is to kind of switch to the official way the Raft paper does it, which is a huge chunk of work, and it's gonna require pretty invasive changes in Etsy server. And I'm scared to do that, basically. That's gonna be hard. On the other hand, the thing that we're doing today in Raft, I think is not quite correct. And it's kind of correct enough so that it doesn't cause problems most of the time. But if you throw Jepsen at this, he's probably going to break it. And if you feel like that's coming, right? And also, I work at CockroachDB, and we run lots of these membership changes. And so we really have an interest that's very strong in having those just be completely correct and not just kind of working most of the time. So right now, there's kind of this crossroads where there's one way in the Raft paper, which is obviously correct, and it's kind of easy to understand why it's correct, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to actually to actually build. And we can see this upstream, the Rust version of Raft. They did all this work, and it's not pretty. So I do want to avoid it. On the other hand, you know, I'm not quite convinced that we can get the thing that we have now to a point where I feel it's safe enough. Mm-hmm. And so right now I'm looking at that. I'm trying to convince myself that there's something I can do to make it safe. And Zhang, you mentioned that there's some safeguards. I really think they're not enough. And I'm happy to discuss this more.
Yeah, we can discuss about the technical things off the meeting, but the thing that I want to say is like ideally we don't have to change the Raft interface or change the reconfiguration significantly, because for SAD, right, we don't really need the joint consensus. But I understand some of the
so no matter what the technical implementation will be, I want to make it such that if you don't actually need joint consensus, you don't have to go through it.
Okay, that's
great. So I do want to make it as minimally invasive for Etsy server as possible. That said, if we go the full Raft paper way, even just switching from apply time to append time, that's just going to really mess with the semantics. Like Etsy server is really going to have to change in substantial ways just to accommodate that, even if it doesn't issue any joint changes. And and then there's this third option to kind of have some changes at apply time and some at append time. But I think that is just going to introduce, you know, lots of new bugs, and it's just going to be a pain to even work out and look at. So that's the thing I really want to avoid, to kind of have both the current Raft behavior and the Etsy Raft behavior in the same code. So yeah, we should discuss this more. I'm very interested in, like, ideally the ideal outcome is that we find some obvious way to make what we're doing now kind of safe, and then keep rolling with this. That would be great. I'm not quite sure we can get there, but I hope that we can. And this doesn't mean just kind of adding random stuff until the counterexamples go away. I kind of want to be able to write down why it's correct and have someone, you know, convinced that it's actually true. And right now, that's like ruling out the counterexamples depends on lots of subtle stuff. Like, do you sync this commit, and do you apply all of this at the same time? And it gets very subtle, and I want to avoid that. we'll see. Well, I'll get back to you on the thread, and hopefully we can figure something out. But there's a scenario in which we can't. In which case, I think CockroachDB would be going ahead with the Raft way, which is gonna hurt, and it's gonna hurt to the point where I'm not even sure if we can, I don't know, do it on the main branch. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
I hope it doesn't come to that.
The PR you just put up like last week, they wouldn't change any semantics of membership configuration, right? It's just refactoring.
Who?
The Tobias, you just like send a new.
Oh yeah. This PR hasn't landed yet, and that's only refactors.
Okay.
Yeah, those are just refactors that I think they're good in their own right, and they just make it such that you don't just randomly count nodes when you need to figure out what the quorum is. It just like puts that decision into one place that's next to the configuration. So that's going to be nice no matter if you use joint consensus ever or not. Upstream like the Raft RS guys, they did kind of the same stuff before they went into joint consensus in the first place. So yeah, so that's one thing I can guarantee. I'm not going to just randomly land joint consensus or semantics changes stuff. I'm going to be very deliberate about getting any of that stuff in.
So for reference, can you link you mentioned the Rust Raft has already done this. They've already
yeah, it's actually already in the thread. Though this is, if you just go down one more.
Mm-hmm.
One more. Yeah, Sidon Tang, this one. This is only one PR, so no, sorry. In the next comment down here, 5 days ago from Sidon.
Okay. 5 days.
Oh, I see. This one.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is only one PR, and this is actually not actually the one to look at. But if you look at the history of this, like there's commits that do all the joint consensus work, and it's not exactly an advertisement for wanting to do this. I might say you have to. It's exactly what Jiang posted on that issue. It forces you to kind of decouple the configuration state from the application state, but the application also needs to know about the conf state, so it becomes this kind of, the interfaces become really messy.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the main reason that we want to do this at the place. But anyway, I would like to discuss this with you more, maybe offline.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm okay with the change if CockroachDB really needs the safety, and yes, I'm okay with that. So, but
yeah,
I think we should try to make the Raft API still compatible so that etcd server shouldn't be affected too much. I'm okay with affecting it a little bit so that we actually can change etcd server as we wish, but I don't want to change it too much.
It just also becomes the thing of if you change the Raft semantics, running a mixed cluster is just kind of really scary because it puts you into a scenario that you're probably not testing. Anyway, I think we both want the same thing. We're going to figure out the best possible outcome we can get.
Can you also include me in the discussion of like safety or correctness of the config change?
Yeah, I'll ping anything I do. I'll keep on that issue, the proposal issue.
Okay, cool.
So you'll know what's going on.
Okay.
Yeah, also we have a mailing list. I mean, the Google groups for the Raft implementation. Maybe we can share that design doc with the mailing.
Yeah, I want to come up with a sound design first, because I think what's there right now, it's very nice for the application, but from an academic perspective, it's just kind of obviously wrong, right? If you assume that everything that can happen will happen, then there are counterexamples, and yeah. So if we come up with something nice, we should involve them absolutely. But I don't have anything nice yet.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. Is Brandon here?
Yeah, I think Brandon is not here, but basically, I think Brandon just moved the discover.etcd.io to the new implementation, which is backed by etcd v3, not by the etcd v2. And also, I think the new discover.etcd.io is operated by an etcd operator, not by a human. So I think that's basically what he wanted to say here. And also, I think he created an issue for the etcd documentation. So, but I'm not super familiar with that. Maybe Sam knows more about it.
Sam?
Oh, you are muted, Sam.
Sorry about that. Yeah, so you're right. So we moved over to using etcd operator, and there was a movement, kind of part of the CNCF acquisition, to get this off of some of the legacy hardware that we were hosting. So he's made a lot of effort, and I appreciate that. So I don't have a lot of input there, but we've made good progress.
Final calls for SCD doc issues. Is there anything that need anybody? The SCD doc issues? We know, or I can ping Brandon and ask him to.
Yeah, I think it'll be good if we can link the SCD issues to here.
All right. So Sam, client V3 balancer game plan.
Yeah, so I just wanted to schedule some time. I had talked briefly with Gyuho about this, but I want to work with Joe if he's available, and Gyuho, and just come up with a game plan for the route we want to go with fixing the balancer. Going to
issue.
So the issue linked was a resolution that Gyuho had proposed, and it was inevitably rejected upstream by GRVC Go. But I was wondering if the Google team had any influence or ability to communicate to schedule like a small meeting with the gRPC Go team to talk about this in more detail.
Let me let us went through that the PR in gRPC again. Okay.
Yeah, I remember we have
and see why they rejected it, and we'll go from there.
Well, there's some more work that needs to be done, but I guess we just need to get to a common as a solution. Sorry. So we just need to get to a point where we can find what is acceptable as a solution and move forward. So it's just going to be a little bit of coordination. So I just wanted to use this time to kind of spearhead that. So if I can follow up with you guys, and if you can talk with Joe, and maybe we can schedule some time. And I know that you had said that you may have some time in May to talk about this as well. So.
Yeah, how about let us give us 1-2 days, maybe next week. Let's look at the issue, refresh our memory first, and then next week.
Sure.
If Gyuho do have time next week.
Yeah, we can think of we can discuss.
All right.
Yeah.
We really need to get this result for the 3.4 release. So.
Okay, yeah, so 3.4 is next month.
Yeah, it's basically affecting the HA, like a clamp balance of failover, if you use the TLS.
Yep. Seeing that too. So Xiang, flaky tests.
Yeah, right now we have a lot of flaky tests. I think every PR is kind of right now. So I'm going to spend some time to go over the previous tests and to post the flaky test here. I don't think I will have time to actually fix all of them. I will pin you guys, maybe give me some help to actually fix them. Okay. I assume that most of the test failures are due to the new client library implementation. So probably I will pin Joe and Gyuho.
I actually can help collecting the tests because I actually started doing this 2 days ago, so I've already collected a couple of the flaky tests from the failures. I can just post my collections.
Okay. So probably I would like you to post your collections, and then I will probably do a sanity check of the issues, and maybe I can fix some of them. Okay.
Okay.
So we need a lot of help fixing all the tests, all the flaky tests.
Yeah. So another thing I think Brandon mentioned is to migrate all our tests to Travis. We don't need a sum for CI anymore. So I will try to see if it's possible.
Migrate to what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Travis. So we have 2 CI right now. So we want to migrate the test to one CI system.
Oh, okay.
So I think CNCF has some credit on Travis CI, so it will have more like parallelism and more powerful like machines or something like that.
And the test jobs we're running in Semaphore is pretty minimal. I think we only have 1 or 2 test groups, so it should be simple. I can help.
All right. Is there anything else? No? All right. Just some reminding that the 3.4 release is planned for late June, and the cutoff date is not set yet, but probably early June. Maybe the maintainers, you guys should discuss that offline, and then we'll post the freezing time on all the channels. All right. Okay. That's it for today. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.